So for the session, right, I would first try to explain, because for me, I in as much as NHS jobs are kind of very strenuous, which you all have to agree, it takes you about a couple of hours to apply to NHS jobs compared to other regular jobs. I see it as being very easy in a sense, because you are giving everything that you expected of. More like you are giving, like, an expo of what they want, what they want from you, rather, right? So that is, like, in the sense I'm seeing it. So it can be very strenuous, right? But those guidelines that you're being given through their job descriptions and all of those things is something that is also very, very helpful. And also, someone was talking about something in the group earlier today about, people have to learn to read very, very well, and that is also something that will be very, very important when you are applying for NHS job. So the person I would do is to explain, some platforms that can exist within, this NHS job application. So from my own experience, I've seen about 3 platforms. The one we all popularly know is Track, where you have to fill in all of those long informations, your referencing and all of those things, which I would also show you guys. And also there's this one where you have to apply on the NHS job website. Like, that one is more minimalistic, where you just have to, maybe they'll ask you a couple of questions where you have to prove that you meet those certain requirements or experience based on what they want from you. And also you have the one that you probably have to apply from the trust website. It depends on what different trust wants to the platform that they choose to use. But regardless of these platforms, I believe that the process is still the same, and they just, once you understand the basics of it, you can actually apply it across board. So having explained this, the next thing I also want to say is, okay, first I'll just share my screen and open the track. So for people that have not really applied for the job for the first time, let me just share my screen. Yeah. So I hope you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just go to NHS jobs. Not now. So basically, this is the website where you can go to apply for the jobs. Then you search for the particular role you're looking for. So let's say I'm looking for like a project support role. I'm just going to go for project support. Then you can see various project support, project support officer role, right? Then it depends on what you want, right? You can decide to filter it. You have, can filter it by distance. You can filter it by contract type. Maybe you're looking for permanent contract, or just like someone talked about the salary range, right? You can also filter it by that as well. You can go to this, okay, not this one. You can go to this pay range and filter it. Maybe you want between 20 to 30,000, or between 30,000 to 40,000. Once you filter it and apply the filters, it kind of shows you those those roles that kind of match those filters. But I'll just have to reset this for now. Just clear the filters. Then let's say I want to go for okay, let's just say I want to go for this senior project support officer role. So I click it, and these are like, you just get this high level information, I would want to call it, because it just explains what the role is all about, but doesn't give you that detailed explanation, right? So I just have to go through it. Okay, I think maybe I like what I see based on what they want. This ECDL means European Computer Driving License, more like being a computer savvy guy, like you understand how to use computers and all of those things. So once I read and I feel that maybe I match most of what they have there, then I can now proceed to and also, you see, they offer sponsorship as well, which is also very, very great, you see. So I can now proceed to like first downloading the supporting document, which is the job description and personal specification. So I'll do the one for English. So why I say that NHS, as I'm talking, right, I'm not seeing the chat. So if anyone has any question at any point, I would appreciate if you can like unmute and ask the question, right? Because if you put it in the chat box, I might not be able to see it on time. So why I feel personally that NHS jobs is very, very easy is because of this their personal specification and job description. And it's something that is very, very important if you want to, apply for the job and actually increase your chances of getting the job, right? Because now when we talk about the job description, it has a couple of things in it. So let me just open one. So when you talk about the job description, right, it has a couple of things in it, right? We'll just quickly go through this one now. Now, okay, have this job purpose. Basically, what's the purpose of the job? What's the purpose of the person that they're even looking to recruit? Then you see your duties and responsibilities, which is also something that's very, very important. You need to read and understand. Then maybe after the duties and responsibilities, now this is everything about the duties and responsibilities. Okay, these like general requirements. Okay, then the another important thing here is this personal specification. So in my own opinion, right, whenever I download the job description, you need to pay close attention to one, that's first explanation to understand the purpose of the role. And also in some of the job descriptions, they will tell you about the organization, right? You need to understand that. That's the first thing. Secondly, you need to understand the roles and responsibilities of that particular role you're applying for. And the third thing is for you to understand the personal specification. So for me, what I do is I read it multiple times. And if you read it multiple times, you'll be able to identify, you kind of be able to group most of these things you're seeing here into a particular skill, right? Maybe let me just give a quick example now. So maybe like when you talk about communication now, right? They're talking about supporting the program staff in delivering high quality reports and plans. And they're talking about interpersonal skills. Maybe if you read this thing now and maybe come down to the personal specification, right? You might probably see something around that communication, right? You see ability to communicate verbally and in writing in a manner which is clear, fluent, and persuasive. Remember that we saw this in our roles and responsibilities. So if you're able to read the document appropriately, you'll be able to identify all of those similar things and categorize it well. Now, that is the next step you need to follow. And why this is important is because when you now get into the job application proper, the things you are going to be filling in the job application now, you now need to use all of these things you've understood from reading these from reading the job description. So let me just head to apply for this job. I would need to create an account for this one now. Okay, I don't have an account for this. So I'm just going to
Okay, because you're using Skill and Grow, yeah?
yeah, but let me just see, I don't know.
Or do you want to join with your own account?
I'm trying to see if it doesn't work, I'll probably just don't worry, I'll just probably I would let me log in, let me go back and log in my own account and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's good also to use new account because for others who are new, they can actually learn how this is done as well. That's how I feel.
Sorry, I didn't get what you said.
We can't use a new account because this is a company's account. So it's better he uses his own account.
Yeah, I would have to use mine.
Okay, if it's such,
So
if it's that's the case, that's okay.
Yes, Chancellor, just go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Let me share my just give me a minute, let me share. Where's the browser? Okay, share the browser now. I think it's this one. Okay, yeah. You guys can see this, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So right. So I have a password. I'm just gonna put in the password. Okay, camera is in use. What's my pin? Okay, it worked. Right. So yeah. So this is normally what you see first, right? And you need to select. Okay, to ask whether you are you a current employee? Obviously, I'm not. No. Then choose immigration status. So it depends on your current immigration status. So what I normally choose here is if there's a graduate visa here, I choose a graduate visa. But at times there are some applications that there's no graduate visa. So what I do for those applications is I'll probably just put maybe I have a student visa and I'm applying for a full-time position. Then if I select this, then here I will now give an additional information like, okay, I transition from a student visa to a graduate visa, which is set to expire at this date, and because there's no graduate visa in the options, I had to go for a student visa, basically just to explain, your immigration status. And after that, continue. So at this point, it's telling me to use an online CV, use a recent application, or use a blank form. So for the purpose of this session, I would use a blank form, right? But if you keep applying over time, right, you'd see, a list of recent. For instance, if I go to
sorry, somebody's saying they can't see your screen. Is this the only one? Can every other person see his screen? Because I can see the screen.
I can see
this.
Okay, so Femi, I think you just need to leave the call and join back. It could be your network then. Oh, okay, nice. It's okay now, Chinonso.
Okay, all right. Okay, so if I go to your most recent application, if I go here and I see that there's a lot of applications there, I could just choose anyone I want to choose because I've been applying for a long time now. Then but I'll use the blank form here anyways. So if I use that, launch application, then I now need to start filling in my details. First, you have your personal details. So this is basically my personal details and my preferred employment type. You fill in that. What else? Relationship. That's if you have a relationship with someone working within the organization. If you have to declare it there. Then this is about Rehabilitation of Offenders Act. Like maybe if you have any unspent criminal convictions, we can say yes or no depending on on the person's status. But obviously it's a no. So the thing is, it has a couple of sessions, right? So after each section, right, you need to mark that section as completed. And then now you now have the application questions proper, and also you have the referencing session where you have to put a list of references. Then also you have these equal opportunities, which is more of all of those. What's your gender, what's your religion, your color, and all of those things. So if I click start session for this one, you see that it all comes out here. I need to fill each and every one of them. Then now the most important thing here is that application questions. So if I go to the application questions now, you see that there's a lot of things I need to fill in here. One, we have the education and professional qualification. We have the relevant training courses attended. We have the membership of professional bodies. We have the NHS service. Like, have you worked within the NHS? This employer activities is more like your activity over time, like the places you've worked and what you did in those roles. Then if there's any gap in your employment, obviously you need to also explain that as well, because I don't know the reason, but they always like, if there's any gap, you need to tell them why there's gap in that, within that space. Then your supporting information is also a place that you should utilize properly, because it's like 1,500 words. And for me, I feel that this is actually more than enough words for you to be able to actually sell yourself, right? But you know that you cannot sell yourself if you don't understand what they are looking for, right? So that is why it's important to read that job description very, very well. So this is more like the structure of how the application process could be when applying on track. So what I want to do now is, if someone has any question at this point, right, they can bring it up. Then I would walk you guys through one of the applications I've done before, right? Then we could also take it up from there. So at this point, I don't know if anyone has any question. Okay.
Yeah, Chino, so I mean, I feel Chino, so I feel like at that beginning, you remember that we do not only have students here, or some people are already in the working space. So I feel like if you're making an example a bit, so just chip in, or if you're currently on a COS, so instead of clicking the graduate visa, you can click on the skilled worker kind of visa. So I'm just saying that maybe just go around.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So obviously, yeah, the whole point of the session is just for you to tell them your current immigration status, right? If you're currently sponsored by a different organization, right, you could also tell them that you're currently sponsored by a different organization. And maybe depending on the status, you could also give more, more details, right? The whole point is just to like, as I said before, tell them what your immigration status looks like, basically. So you just have to, select the option according to your current status, whether you're a student, you're on the skilled worker visa, even if you're on the what's it now, this tech talent visa or something, that's global talent rather. You could also select that, because I believe that there are options for everyone. Even if you're dependent as well, it's also part of the options that you need to select. And obviously you would have to put just one option, right? And I would have loved to show you guys that, but I can't go back to that again, because that is like, after you've done that, there's no way for you to change it. But if that is the only question, then I would proceed to showing you guys actual application that I've done in the past, right? So okay.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that, you clicked on the blank stuff. I'm sure we have people who are just starting afresh. So if you click on the blank stuff and blank everything and you fill everything, it is very easier for you to now start making your applications after the first application. So for example, you fill, just like Gretchen also clicked on, you fill the blank one and you filled everything. The next time you want to apply again for a particular job, instead of clicking on the blank one, you can use a recent application, right, Chino? So use my recent application to start. You're showing us your WhatsApp, oh, sir.
Oh God, I forgot. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so you can use a recent application. Now, when you click on use a recent application, it's going to bring out everything you filled in that other application that you submitted. That way, you don't have to start filling everything one by one again. You just have to edit maybe your personal statement and some little things that you need to fill, and that's it. So the arc is just making sure that you fill everything, put in your online CV, put in all the courses that you've taken. It just makes it very easy for you for your next application. This is now for people who are just starting, because I understand that this guy, what's his name? The guy from Malawi. I'm sure that's what he wants to say. That's why he's saying, oh, use a new user, whatever. I don't know, but that's it. Let's go ahead.
Thank you very much. You have clarified, of course. That's the question that I wanted to ask. Thank you very much.
I knew that was what you wanted to ask. You're welcome.
Yeah. And again, before you come in, before someone comes in, I just want to ask about the issue of rehabilitation of offenders and the issue of religion. Does the issue of religion matters at UK? And if you offended at one other point in time, does it matters?
Okay, so I don't think the issue of religion matters, because I would only know the reason why they collect all of those informations, but I don't think it plays a role in their decision. Then about the offenders thing, so I think it all boils down to being very honest and open, right? If probably you have had any issues or something with the police, or you've been to prison or something, maybe within the UK, right? You could let them know, right? Yeah, this has happened and this is why it happened. It just boils down to being very open, because at the end of the day, even if you get the job, they'll still have to do a background check on you, and you don't want them to find it out themselves. So if there is any any stuff, you could just let them know about that. So as long as you're being very open and transparent with it, I don't think there would be an issue. And also, just to show you, if like if where is that thing now? So if okay, what's wrong? Okay, I need to close this one. Let's cancel this one first. So if I go to that rehabilitation of offenders now, if I select yes, then they will tell me I have to disclose the information. I want to disclose information now. I want to disclose the information separately. If I click now, then I'll just have to tell them the unspent criminal convictions, the date, and whatever. Or I can decide to disclose it separately, which would involve them contacting me and telling me the steps I need to take to disclose the information. So I believe it's just all about you being very honest, because you wouldn't want them to find it out maybe during their background checks or something.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Okay, so is there any other question with respect to this one?
Sorry, please, I want to ask, when Kel said we can use our recent application to apply for another one, what if it's not aligned with the how can I put it, with the application we are going through? Do you mean that we can use same process for same application?
Okay, let me quickly show you, right?
I think
I'll
Joshua
just
hand is raised. Joshua.
okay, Joshua, yeah.
Yeah, can everyone hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think Chin also is going to show you, but just before he shows you. So, especially when you're applying on track, almost every NHS application, you still need to enter your employer details, your school, personal information like your name and other things. So now, using an application that you have used before, it helps you to fill all those things. And then when you get to the supporting statements or the things that differ, you can now edit it and put in different information. But then you're always going to put in, there are certain information that you're always going to put in every NHS application. So using your previous application helps you to fill those bits. When you go through them and mark as complete, you can now go to the supporting statement or other parts of the application that are different from the previous application and put in the new information that is required.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Joshua. So that's basically what it's all about. But I'll just quickly show you now. So you see that because I used a blank application, most of this things has not been filled, and it's kind of very stressful having to fill all of these things. So someone's hand is up again. Who's that? Naza Joy. Do you want to say something?
Okay, yeah, don't ask a question. Good evening. So there's this place where they write trainings and where you have to like list the trainings you've done.
Yeah.
Does that include like online trainings like FlexiBee trainings or highest code trainings? Does that include that?
So I would say it includes every training that is relevant to what you're applying for, even if it's an online training, the one you did in Udemy, as long as it's relevant to your application, just put it there. I mean, it's always it's always increases your chances basically.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, so I'll just show you guys about the using pre-filled application. So everything is not started here, right? Let me just quickly see if I can find any. Okay, let me just use this one. If I open this one and go to apply, okay. So remember I told you guys that there are 3 platforms, right? So this one they told me I should apply on these people's website now. So that is like a different thing altogether. It's no more on track, but I don't want to use this one. Let's look for the one that is on track. Let's hope this one is okay. All right, so this is on track. So still the same thing. No. So this is where you choose immigration status. You see the one for skilled workers and all of those things. Continue. Okay, I didn't choose one. I'm more students now. Okay, I don't think these guys see now. These ones they don't have what's the name now? Graduate visa, right? So I might select dependent, or I might even select what's the name now? Student visa. Okay, they have graduate visa. Okay, so this is graduate visa here. I've selected that one because that's my current status, anyways. Then continue. So at this point, I can decide to use a recent application. I'm going to use this. No, not this one. I'm going to use, let me just use this one then. So launch application. You'd see that some of these things have been pre-filled. You're seeing show answers. See gaps in employment, see employment history. So most of these things has been pre-filled for me already. I just need to come, open it, edit it, which in most cases, what I do edit is just this what's the name now? This employer activity history and the personal statement. That is most of the things I edit most of the times, right? And obviously the supporting information is always blank. So you definitely have to write this one, but everything is pre-filled for you. So it makes the work more easier for you, right? So that is it for that one. Then someone asked a question about how do I please talk about the supporting statement. How can I read the job description and create a supporting statement? Okay, how do you know which admin role is responsible? Because most of the roles are paying less than the salary ratio for responsible. Honestly, I don't know about how to know if maybe the admin role is sponsored, but for most of the time, right, they do write it there, right? That they give you sponsorship. Some people will tell you that you need to self-assess yourself to see if you meet that criteria for sponsorship. But I think that sponsorship thing is a little bit dicey because it depends on maybe are you a new entrant, what is the going rate for that particular role you're applying for. So I might be going for one role, and maybe the going rate is maybe let's say 25,000, and you're applying for another that the going rate is like maybe 20,000. Our sponsorship requirement is going to vary. So the thing is kind of very, very dicey, and it's something that you need to assess yourself in terms of, okay, what is the going rate for this role? Do I meet the sponsorship requirement? Then you can be able to like make that decision. And obviously, if you meet the sponsorship requirement according to the Home Office's regulation, and the organization has that license to sponsor you, they will definitely sponsor you, right? So I think that's what I have to say with respect to that one. Then someone asked the question, how can I read the job description and create a supporting statement? So that is something I want to go into now very, very soon. So remember, I talked about the important things you need to know when applying for jobs, right? Especially within the NHS is that document they give you, that's job description and personal specification. Within that job description and personal specification, you have your roles and responsibilities, which basically outlines your responsibilities within that role, right, that they're advertising. And also you have your personal specification, which talks about the skills, experience, and qualifications that they want the ideal candidate to have, right? Now, if you read those things and understand it well, when it comes to crafting your own professional experience, when I'm talking about professional experience now, I mean this particular session now. Oh, sorry. This particular session now, this employer activity issue. When it comes to crafting this part, yeah, you will try as much as you can to link it to that roles and responsibilities of that particular job, right? Then when it comes to crafting your personal statement now, you would also try to make sure that you link it to your the personal specification. So what I do is I write down this personal specification and some similar skills that I've identified or I've grouped, right? Then as I'm writing my personal statement, if I cover one particular skill or one particular specification, I take it out and I always try to ensure that I cover at least 80% of all of those things. And I'll show you guys now quickly anyways. So like if you, for me, I believe that if you're able to do it that way, right, you actually stand a greater chance. So having said this, I'll just quickly show you guys what I mean by, I want to share another section of my screen now. Where is it now? Okay. Stop presenting. Okay, yeah. All right, so this is another. So this is for one of the jobs that I applied to in the past, right? I'll just quickly, breeze through this job, right? So, I've first and foremost, what you can see as job overview, right? It tells you what the role is all about, right? You're going to be supporting the project team, service improvement team to deliver a couple of services within the trust, and it talks about the integrated medium-term plan and all of those things. Now, me seeing this, I need to go and like read that one up. It's not like I need to put it in my application, but obviously, if you get to the interview, you need to be able to say some things like that aligns with it, so they know that you have actually done a research in the organization, right? But after this, now you have seen, we have the main duties of the job, right? Supporting delivery of project and service improvement activities, under planning and designing. You see that you are assisting project managers, you are preparing for events, documentations. So all of these things now, as I'm reading it, right, I'm like, making notes in my head and also on my laptop to see all of those things that kind of match with my previous experience, right? So it's more like if you're applying for different jobs, right? If you're applying for jobs, you kind of tweak your CV every now and then, right? So that's basically what this helps you to do, because it gives you an insight into what you should be doing in that role. So if you're looking at it and you're trying to see how you're going to match it to what you've done in the past. So they talked about budgeting here, they talked about managing relationship with external stakeholders, and all of these informations, right? Now, based on this one now, right? So in my application, I would show you guys, okay, not let's just okay. So I'll show you guys a couple of things here now. So you can see that you have meeting minutes here now. So you can see that there's meeting minutes here now, and there's like red logs here now. If I go back to this thing now, and we look closely, there would be a part that they talked about capturing meeting minutes. I'm trying to see if I can find that part now. It should be under support. Let me just see if I can just search it. You guys can see it now, right? Creating a record of meetings and producing minutes, preparing all. So it's just based on knowing what is inside that roles and responsibilities. Then, based on that, I'm trying to put it in my own.
So somebody is saying they cannot see your screen in the chat box. So can everybody confirm that they can see screen? So that
I can see the screen. I can see your screen.
You have to go off and then rejoin. Sorry.
Well done. Well done. I can see your screen.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just leave and join back, yeah.
Okay, so so that is it for that one. I'm just trying to see if I can find something else. So so you see this one about managing and storing project data. If I go here now, I think there is something about managing project repositories. I can't really remember much, but okay, I'm right. Where is it? To create repositories, including online. So if you read the roles and responsibilities of that particular role, right, you use it to craft your own roles and responsibilities of the previous role. So I mean, you're not lying, right? But you're just like exaggerating what has happened, because if you think through, you must have done at least most of those things in your previous roles. It's just for you to now ensure that you use those words, like those keywords, right, that match with what they are looking for. Sorry, give me a minute. I'm trying to trying to on my fan. It's hot. Okay, yeah, it's better now. So I need to use those keywords, right? Let me see if I can find something else again to give the last example. So this talks about okay, after you see this one now, maintain a document repository for managing and seeing that same repository that we are talking about, right? This one is presenting high quality report to senior stakeholders, facilitating project meetings. If I go here now, I think I will still see something about that presentation. Okay, I'm right. Where is it? I can find it, but it's here. Routine presentation. Where is it now? Okay, yeah. Design and deliver routine presentations. So all of these things now, you see how I'm trying to walk through it. I had to read through everything based on my roles and responsibilities, or rather based on the roles and responsibilities of the role they're advertising. I used it to craft my own in the previous organization that I've worked. Now, that is for the roles and responsibilities, and also ensure that you use keywords, right, where necessary. And of course, you can also use ChatGPT, which would come to that towards the end of the session. So so that is it for this one. Then now let's go to the personal specification. For me, this is like another very, very important part. Now, you see here for qualification and knowledge, they said is a good level of educational attachment to degree or equivalent experience, recognized project management qualification or equivalent experience. They are not desirable evidence of further development, diploma or equivalent experience. Now, if I go to my own this thing now, under my educational professional qualifications, you see that I have to put my school, my project management qualifications. Under the training attended, you see that I have to put a couple of trainings that I've attended. Now, you see that some of these things are on Coursera, some of them are on different platforms, right? But the important question is, does it align with what they want? Now, if you go to this personal personal specification, they said you need to have equivalent experience. You need to show evidence of further development. And for you to show evidence of further development, you need to tell them that you have been improving yourselves, right, by taking all of these courses. And also that recognized project management qualification. That's also why I had to put some of these project management qualifications there as well. Don't know why this is not staying where I want it to stay. Oh, where is it now? Yeah, so that's why I had to put some of these things as well. Then the next thing is experience of administering projects, knowledge and techniques of planning, monitoring and controlling projects, good knowledge of computer skills, experience and knowledge of service improvement methodologies. Now, if I go to my personal specification now, I'll just, obviously I'm not going to read through everything, but if I trying to see if I can just search history. Trying to. Okay, thank you guys. So, having supported various projects across very different sectors, I have built significant experience in project administration and documentation, ensuring that key project records such as initiation documents, highlight reports, closure reports are well structured and accessible. Now, remember that they talked about being experienced in project administration. And when you talk about administration, you're managing documents, you're facilitating meetings and all of those things, right? That is why it was part of my own personal specification, right? So another thing else, okay, you can see it here again. I can effectively utilize these tools required for project administration and service improvement within the iHub. Now, remember that this role is about supporting the project team and service improvement team. So when writing all of this, you need to ensure that they know that you understand what they are looking for, and you need to put it in whatever application you're making, right? So let me also know that I can find some other things again. Where is it now? Service improvement methodologies. Let me see if I can quickly just find this in this application. Okay, I've talked about this one. No, not this one. See that even that service improvement, I also put it here in my own professional experience as well. But I'm looking for where it is in my personal statements. Okay, okay, okay. No, this is what I'm looking for. Okay. Okay. So we have that service improvement here, and we also have it here. My experience coordinating and supporting digital. Okay, so yeah, we also have it here as well. So this part is just basically trying to retrieve the fact that I understand what they are talking about with respect to their 3-year service improvement strategy. So the point I'm just trying to drive at here now is when it comes to your this personal specification bit, right? You need to be able to read it, understand it, and demonstrate it when you're writing your personal statement, right? You see the good report drive and drafting skills, capability of understanding the wide objective of projects and programs, all of those things, right? You need to be able to show them that you've demonstrated that thing in a certain way. Now, for instance, one of their requirements is Welsh. They need to be a Welsh speaker. Obviously, I don't know how to speak Welsh, and that is one of the things about NHS here. They will tell you you need to be a Welsh speaker. But here, what I wrote here is that I also recognize the importance of Welsh language in public service roles, and I'm committed to developing my Welsh language skills to better engage with stakeholders and contribute effectively within the organization. I don't know how to speak Welsh, but what I wrote there is more like showing the willingness that I'm willing to learn, to integrate better. You see, so if they pick up the application, they're like, okay, he doesn't know how to speak Welsh, but he's willing to learn. And the truth is that even the people within the organization said they don't even know how to speak the Welsh. Most of them don't even know how to speak the Welsh. All of this is just about, just trying to promote their culture or something. But it's still that same point I'm just trying to drive at, which is you read and understand the document you've been given, right? If you read and understand the document you've been given, you'll be able to tailor your application to align with that document, and if possible, use keywords, right? So that is what I'm just trying to drive at, and that is why I had to show you guys, my own application that I've done in the past, and also the job description that I used, right, to do that application. So I don't know if someone has any question at this point before we now, go into the last phase of using ChatGPT to make things a bit faster. Does anyone have any question?
Okay, actually, so let's just be sure that AIM can now see your screen. AIM, are you on the call? AIM, let's just be sure that please, if you can see this screen, just use any reaction button, raise a hand, clap, celebrate, whatever. Yeah, okay, good. So it could be AIM. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Are you going to share the sample of your CV? You people don't even want to do any work for God. Chino, so okay, let's go to ChatGPT. So you can just show them how to use the prompts and everything, but you people will learn to do the work yourself. It's very important to learn to do these things yourself.
So the thing is, I cannot share the sample of my CV because we are not applying for the same job, in terms of not the same role, right? And as I said, your CV is always unique in a way. I mean, don't necessarily need to tweak it massively, but they would always need to be a tweak, and especially your personal statement, you need to always work on it. So it's not like something that I can share anyways. But yeah, now I want to move into ChatGPT, and I would also want to encourage you guys, for people that talked about having that shared subscription. You guys can come together and have that shared subscription. It helps, because me, I have my own shared subscription with a couple of people as well. So I would let me share the screen let me share my other screen, and then I'll show you guys the ChatGPT. In a minute. But it's very, very important that we need to understand that ChatGPT does not eliminate the work you need to do. ChatGPT makes your life easy, but it does not eliminate that you have to do work. Because ChatGPT can be mumu, that's the truth. Like if you use it, and if you actually read your job description very, very well, right? And use it and use it and use it, you realize that at times it just tells you something that is not in line with what you want. But you have to prompt until you finalize it and get what you want. But if you like, you don't read the job description and you throw it into ChatGPT, but ChatGPT will carry you and hit wall. At least we need to know that one first before we start using ChatGPT, right? So so ideally, right, what I normally do is I just upload my what's the name now? My CV. I upload the job description, so I'm just going to upload it now. Here's that one. Okay, just upload it and be like, do you understand this? Just that is that simple. Do you understand this? It will just tell me like yes.
What can I say? This is how you do yours.
No. Yeah, I'm busy. Like, do you understand it? Yes, I understand the document. But obviously, I must have read this thing.
Yeah.
Like I must have read. Like, what I'm just want to do is to understand that ChatGPT even has gone through the document first. So if I start my query, it will be giving something that makes at least that makes sense closely. Now, after I've done this, now I cannot be like let me see. I could just probably get like one of my CVs and where is it? IT support. Just trying to just find where did I dump all of these CVs? Okay. Just gonna trying to look for where I kept them. All right, so I'm just gonna look for like I'll just copy like the professional experience part of my CV, right? And it depends on what I want to do. So the first thing I could do is just to tell ChatGPT to rate the CV, to rate that professional experience on how it aligns with the what's the name, with the roles and responsibilities of this particular role. So I've pasted my CV now. I'll be like, okay, can you please honestly now let me show you guys something. Can you please rate this professional experience? Just don't mind my spelling. And it's online with the rules of the JD. Just now, can this see this problem is can you please rate? So it aligns very, very well. Okay, I made a mistake. I didn't put on a scale of 1 to 10 anyways, but it's taking some time. So let me just sorry, I want to use on a scale of 1 to 10. So
so we need to be sure that everybody's understanding what you're doing at that point where you ask it to rate.
Yeah, so
because everybody, we need to.
Okay, sorry. So what I did is
you're
right.
Just going and going. You're forgetting.
I have my CV normally, right? So I just copied the professional experience part. That's the company you worked and what you did within that company. Basically, just copied it from my CV, right? And asked ChatGPT to rate the alignment of that particular section of my CV with with the personal, sorry, with the roles and responsibilities section of this job description I shared with it. Now, ChatGPT told me that it's 10/10. That is what it told me. Remember that what and the prompt I used there was just like, can you please rate this professional experience? Now, if I now say, if I just change the word now to like and add honestly, just honestly, then the rating will definitely change. So that's why prompting is like, you need to know how you're going to prompt it to get the best result. So can you honestly rate? Now the mark this one is 10/10. Now let's go to absolutely. Here's a detailed, honest evaluation. It has gone down to 9.5. So what I'm just trying to say is that you need to be able to use the prompt well for it to be able to get the result you want. Right now, what I can also do here now, because I don't even okay, that's because this CV has actually been optimized for this role before, that's why. But what I can also do here now is I can now be like, okay, that he should, can you add more bullet points to reflect what is what is needed. I'm just trying to tell you to like suggest some bullet points that I'm going to add in my CV to reflect what is in the JD that I share. And I also asked it to bold it so that I'll be able to identify the new addition. Now, you can see now some things they added. Facilitated and documented project meetings, producing highlight reports. He added this one again. Okay, for this one, he added these ones again. Shared and you see that based on the JD I gave it, right? Is now generating my own what's the name now? My own work experience for me, right? And if you look closely, you see that some of these things, right, is actually inside that JD. But the most important thing now is that you know now go and lift this thing now and paste it there, because this is obviously AI's work. We don't have to now tweak it and now add your own experience to it, right? So that is like how I do my own. Now, when it comes to the supporting statement part, so for me, to be very honest, I use ChatGPT as well for that, but you still need to use your sense while using ChatGPT. So, for instance, I can say, based on the information shared so far, can you generate? Oh God, just don't mind my spelling, please. Can you generate a good hook? So, like when we talk about hook is more of like that first paragraph of the supporting statement. So this is the hook now. I can read and be like, I don't like this thing, no. Because when you talk about your supporting statements, right, that introduction matters a lot. Like if the introduction is very, very exciting, very captivating, whoever is reading it will want to continue. But if the introduction is boring, dear hiring manager, I'm writing to indicate my interest in this role that I saw on track. It's boring normally, right? It will just be boring. But if you make it very exciting, I can be like make it more captivating and exciting. Now it could just keep tweaking it, right? So let's see what it comes up with. I thrive at the intersection of people, process, and purpose, and that's exactly where great projects come to life. Imagine you as a hiring manager, you read something like this, you'd be like, okay. With over 5 years of experience driving that change across tech and public sector organizations, I've led projects that didn't just meet targets. They transform how team work and what they believe is possible. Like, you see the kind of vibe the introduction is giving, right? So you just keep tweaking it, tweaking it. If you tweak it, you look at it, tweak it, look at it. And also, it's very important to ensure that you remove all of this dash thing, because I don't know why they put ChatGPT always uses this, but you remove it and modify the word so that at least you'd be involved in your own personal statement. To not look like AI wrote everything for you, right? But this is like the step, right? Ensure that your hook, that introduction is very interesting. So I can even go ahead and say find something unique about the organization and start with it. I mean, depending on how you want to, structure it. Basically, as the largest health organization in the world, serving a population of over 700,000 across blah 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 blah. So, see, I don't know whether you guys understand what I'm trying to say here, right? Just all about using this AI to help and speed up your application. This is another variant of the hook, right? And if they read this, they're like, okay, fine, this person is quite knowledgeable to understand, that we are one of the largest organizations in Wales and we serve over 700,000 people, but remember to verify this thing. So go and lift and dump. You can go and check, are they really the biggest? Did they serve over 700,000? Or even if you don't serve 700,000, how many people did they serve? All those kind of things that you can be able to tweak this thing, right? Then if maybe you're satisfied with whatever is here now, right? I can now put this here and I'll be like, okay, I want to use this hook, but I will give you some information to finish up my cover letter, my personal statement. Okay, so I've told you that I want to use this first hook that that it's more interesting. So it's not telling me what are the information that I need to give you to finish up my cover letter. I remember that I told you guys, when you're reading your job description and your personal specification, that you should be jotting things down. You have something around communication, teamwork, maybe I don't know, some words that is using, okay, maybe manual handling and all of those things. Now, this is now the point that you now list all of those things. Maybe under communication, I communicated blah 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 blah, blah and got this result. Under manual handling, I did this and got this result. Just list it as roughly as you can, right? Once you now list all of it, right, and you now dump it here in ChatGPT, it now uses all of those things now to now form a structured personal statement for you, because in as much as we know what we want to write, I know I've done A, I know I've done B, I know I've done most of these things, but how will I make it sound okay? How will I make it sound sweet? That is the problem most of us have. And that is where ChatGPT comes in. Those your rough thoughts you have that are just bits and pieces everywhere, right? Ensure that you gather all of them together, but as you're gathering them, be ticking off your personal specification, ensuring that each example you are bringing, right, marks off one or two of those personal specifications. Under communication, you have something. Under maybe interpersonal skill, you have something. Maybe you've used interpersonal skill to interact with stakeholders, to interact with clients, and all of those things. Once you put all of those bits and pieces inside here, it now gives you something that is structured, which obviously you need to refine. You look at it, you make edits, and you cannot tell it to rate it, right? So that is how this works. So I'll just try to think about something from my head right now, because there's nothing on my head. But let me see. So I coordinated meetings with 10 stakeholders. Oh God, explaining. I'm just giving something from my head. So let me just put this now. So let's see what it does. All right, so all right. So yeah, you see how I've had the privilege of coordinating strategic meetings with over 10 stakeholders, enabling improvements that positively impacted service across 20 businesses. These engagements were not just about alignment. So it gives the ChatGPT gives that flavor, that that vibe, that structure you need to your rough thoughts. And that way you spend less time writing your personal statement. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. If you understand, can someone just let me know? I don't know if you can use a
No, I don't
reaction.
understand.
If you don't understand, tell me what part don't you understand? Hello.
Okay,
Yeah,
they're saying they do. Some people say they do. Some people say they do not do. What kind of English is that? But I want to believe that the people who may not understand, if maybe we were using and please mute your mic. Maybe if we're using a care, if we're using a care
Yeah.
application, maybe healthcare or support worker, whatever, maybe it would have been easy for them to understand. But the truth is, Chino says the project manager, and like what he said, regardless of what you're applying for, all the application processes are the same. The essence of this thing is just to understand what your job description is, this person specification, use ChatGPT to come up with a very good personal statement, right? Now, the essence of this is sometimes you have a lot of rough thoughts in your head that you're not able to put together. What ChatGPT does is to make it very structured for you and seamless. Do you understand? So regardless of the example is using, whether he's using a care work to do this example or using a project manager on track, all application processes are the same, especially when you fill the form. The only difference is now if you're applying to a different job, it's just for you to change maybe the your certifications and the personal statement. But aside that one, every other thing is the same. Or maybe the reference, maybe for example, you did internship somewhere as a tech person for 20 hours and you're applying to a tech job. You just need to change the reference basically. So I just need you to open your mind, right? Because sometimes I used to say this thing a lot too. Mindset is everything. Your mindset, some people have already just told themselves that this thing is too hard for me. I can't do it. And once your mindset is set on the fact that you cannot do it, trust me, you cannot do it. So I need you to be very open to see that this is just an example. Okay, now that he's giving this example, let me now go and relate it to the role that I'm applying for. Do you get what I mean, guys? Okay.
So I'm trying to see if I would I'm trying to see if I would get maybe one care so we can just walk through it together as well.
Yeah, let's just try and do a care one.
That's what I'm trying to
just mention my name, Kel. I know you people, some of you, let me even now prophesy that some of you will leave this care job and go and do tech job later. It might not be now, but later. So you need to open your mind to accept changes. I used to be a tech person before I relocated. It's just when you find yourself, there's a lot of sacrifices that come with relocating, right? You just have to do what you have to do. And me, one thing I like about myself, whatever I find myself doing at the time, I do it wholeheartedly. And I feel like very soon, maybe so we can do like a project management course, because a lot of people here are future project managers. They don't know that the current role that they are doing in care can even be transferred to a project management role. And that's where transferable skills come in. But later we'll be going into it. Let's just see if we can get a care.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can just get one.
Chawaka said, should I send my application? Maybe you should use it as example.
You can just send your what's the name, what they call it, the job description. Don't necessarily need to send the application.
Send the job description.
Yeah, the job description. I'm trying to see I can't. I'm not seeing. Trying
You're
to.
not showing your screen again, Chinonso.
No, yeah, I know. I'm not. I know. I'm just trying. I'm still searching for. Okay, let me just share my screen. Why I search for it is I'm searching for the one that has what's the name? The one that has this. I'm searching
Okay.
for the. I'm trying to search for the one that has this thing.
What's I saying that? Can you explain more on the star part? Is it like the
Hello?
star method?
I can't see anything. Can you
On
explain more on the star part? Will it be included in the CV or covered? Okay, star method, that's situation, task, action, and result. So for your CV, right? I don't actually
don't
think
think
that
so.
you have that time to do star in your CV. But obviously, when writing your CV or your professional or document your professional experience, right? You should use action words, collaborated, facilitated, engaged, managed, participated, those action words, right? One. Then also you should be able to quantify what you've done, right? Maybe I managed a project that brought about a 30% cost optimization within the business. That is simple, that is straightforward, that is impactful, right? Then when it comes to your personal specification, right? You can actually use star in some of the aspects, because obviously if you want to use star to address everything, that wouldn't work, right? But you can identify. That's what I talked about, having to read and understand the the job description as well, so that you can identify those similar skills they need. Maybe they need organization and time management, they need communication, they need teamwork. Those like 3 or 4 or 5 key things that you know that they need. You use star and address those ones in your personal specification. Now just integrate it in your personal specification. Then you now address other ones. I don't know if that makes sense, because your personal specification could have maybe like 10 or 15 requirements, and if you start to do everything, you most likely exhaust your 1,500 words. But those key things, those essential criteria, right, you can use start to address them, right? And obviously ChatGPT is there to help you to integrate all of these things into your personal statement to look very, 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 very fluent. Then once that is done, you can now be able to now fix other ones, like maybe, okay, I'm very experienced in using ABCD tools. Then for the start, be like, okay, when I worked at a particular organization, because I had a very good teamwork skills, I worked with ABCD and this happened and we got this result. That you just make it flow, but you won't use that for everything, right? So that is it for that.
Yes,
Let me
Chelsea
see.
understands already. There's Chiamaka just pasted
Yeah,
one job
I'm trying
description.
to branch. Where is the job description? Okay.
Have you applied to this one, Chiamaka?
No, I'm about doing it.
Thank God you share it for people. People gonna apply too. That's very
I
good.
know Walana.
Yes,
So
now.
so for this one, under the direction of the registered professional work okay. Let's just go through this one. I'm trying to just quickly reiterate. Okay, to support the delivery of high quality, safe, and compassionate healthcare services, all staff experts act as a role model to others in aspect of their work and consistently demonstrates this pride value. Now, what is this pride value? So this is the pride value, right? Now, you should know that this one now should actually be add this as part of your personal specification. Sorry, personal statement, right? How you have demonstrated these values. Obviously, that should be part of it, right? And okay, high quality, safe, and compassionate care. That is something you also need to highlight. Then let's go. Professional responsibilities, demonstration of practice in accordance with code. Okay, no, adhere to informed trust policies. No, this part. Okay, demonstrate effective, clear, and accurate communication with patients and their families to ensure that they are kept up to date with with plans for the for care. This thing now is a line for you. I don't know if you guys understand. Okay, let me see if I can let me see if I can upload this into ChatGPT.
I think you should drink water, Chino. So
If let me drink water. My big distance.
yeah, drink water, please. So we can close. You know, some people have work tomorrow.
Honestly, yeah.
Even you too.
Okay, so let's just see the magic you can do with ChatGPT on this one now. I've downloaded it. Let me just, I think at this point I need to share. I need to share my whole screen because I'm sharing.
Shadow, go open your WhatsApp for us so that we don't see what we're not supposed to see.
I'm unconscious. I'm sharing my whole screen. All right. So let me see if I'm going to, if I can upload. What was it that I just done? I thought I downloaded something now. Okay.
Are you sure that's it?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay. Do you know this is not how I do my boy? I've learned this one from you now.
I just do it just to ensure that even the ChatGPT understand what I'm saying. Because even the ChatGPT can make mistakes.
Yeah, sure. And sometimes they sound too generic, just sounds so
exactly. They sound too generic. I'm like,
please, did you just copy and paste?
No, I uploaded documents and said, do you understand this, JD? If yes, please summarize it. Just to ensure that they know what the JD is all about.
And this feature is for only people that is paying sub for ChatGPT.
Yeah,
you cannot get it with the free ChatGPT. So if you want to make the most of ChatGPT, just go for the subscribe to it so that you can get the most out of it.
Yeah.
And I think
thank you.
There is this new ChatGPT from China. I think so. DeepSeek. They give me opportunity to upload documents also.
And it's free, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, anyone.
Yeah, you can use anyone that works for you. Even I'm praying that WhatsApp AI starts doing that one, then it makes my life easy too. You know, WhatsApp has their own Meta AI too. When I'm on the go, that's what I use.
So okay, so this is like the summary of what they have. Key responsibilities, confidentiality, and all of those things. So obviously this will not work. So I'll just be like, based that I should rate my CV. Can you rate this professional? Obviously, it's it shouldn't even rate me.
So
I'll rate 4. Where you so I don't
you're the project management.
Exactly, yeah. So exactly. So there's nothing close to it here. Now I cannot tell it okay. Okay. Can you base can you generate a new
But so the essence of this is it not to apply to get a personal statement, a supporting statement.
No, before you get a supporting statement, you need to get your what's the name now? Your professional experience set now.
Okay, that's true.
So let's see if it generates something for me. So ChatGPT has done the work for me now. Obviously, this is a lie, but if you look at it closely, now you see that it kind of aligns with what is in that personal job description now. Yeah, so I can be like split it into
3 organizations. Okay.
to just this one is Elisha. But
yeah,
what
let's
I'm
just
saying,
get the supporting statement.
yeah. But what I'm saying is this thing now, right? So someone else, right, that has the experience, you can put it here first, rate it, then tell it to generate more for you. It generates more for you. I'm sure that if you look through all of this, and there could be like 6, 7, 8 things that directly relates to you that you can put in your own professional experience. That will boosting your own application. And of course, you should ensure that where possible, you should also align with the what's the name now? You should also use keywords. But see where I told that ChatGPT is stupid. Now see what he said. Demonstrated NNUH pride values daily through respectful communication. What does this have to do with your professional experience in your previous
I
role?
think it's based on the stuff that you gave it. So that's
Exactly.
why attention to details is very important when you're doing all these things. So you don't go and take things that are not really true and then add it to your supporting statement.
Exactly. That's the thing. So I cannot tell it based on all of these. This can you generate a captivating thing hook?
For my personal statement.
Okay. I believe that the heart of healthcare lies not just in clinical excellence, but in small, compassionate moment that uplifts a patient's dignity and spirit. Just imagine if you say something like this to a white person. What would that white person think? I understand how interesting it sounds, right? Just use that as an introduction. I think they're like, oh wow, this person is saying something interesting. Let's get to see what he wants to say. Then you can now start making it. You can tweak it further. I want it to be more compassionate. I want it to be more exciting. I want it to be more. Anyhow, I want to just speak the English, and it will definitely tweak it, and you just pick the best of what it has generated so far, merge it together. Right, but I mean, so far I like this line. The line is actually very, very okay. It says, I've seen firsthand how attentiveness, patient, and teamwork can transform patient's experience. Now I'm ready to bring that same dedication and empathy to a professional environment where it can make a meaningful difference every day. That shows that you are in, like, I don't know, you are very, very excited about what you do, and you understand the impact of what you do in people's lives. You cannot say complete
this personal
statement.
Guys, are we even following at all? Let's even be sure that you're getting something. Thank you. Okay. So these are just hook to get your personal statements. Once you get that personal statement, you're landing your interview. That's just it.
Let's just see how this one works then. Okay, my passion for healthcare grew from initial desire to care for people. Okay, see, I've supported various people across. So this one is talking now based on the fictional experience it generated from me anyways. Yeah. So
but if you have your own CV, it just gives you the right one.
Yeah. So let's okay. This is okay. Then maybe I can not be like that's there's that and this value. Like I can not be like, can you modify it? Can you modify it to show? Can you modify this? The like the trust value now. They talk about demonstrating the trust value. Can you modify it to show how you demonstrated So I can put it, but if we just go through it quickly, let's see. Okay, I've upheld integrity by following policies. My dedication to, I'm trying to, I'm not ready to be more. Okay. Finally, I strive for excellence. So, what are the trust values again, Seth? If you go to that, where is that document now, Seth? If you go to that document, where did I open that document? I can't remember. Not here, not here. Okay. If you go to that document now, what is that trust values again, Seth?
That's it now.
Respect, integrity,
integrity,
dedication, and excellence, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's ChatGPT. There's something about, okay, see, finally I strive for excellence. Remember, that's part of their values. My dedication to the role is evident. So it infused those values. I've upheld integrity. I don't know if you guys are seeing what it's trying to do. And it's even bold in all of it so that you know that it's like telling CEO, I've put all of these things here. But of course, these are guides, right? You now use it to achieve that in which you want to achieve by modifying it further and also asking ChatGPT to rate it. That way, if probably you modify and get it right, and probably rate it like maybe 9/10, or even at a point ChatGPT will be like, this thing is 10/10. I can't do anything more again. You are ready to go and submit. Like it will give you, okay, sorry. Like it will give you that confidence that you need to. It will give you that confidence that you need to like submit this and know that yes, you've put in that work. You get. So that is just basically how AI can help you. And I think that is it for me, from me rather. So at
I
this
feel like
point,
there's also an emphasis that there's a guide. I feel like people don't settle down. That guide has helped me. I've landed interviews with that guide. And it was when I saw it that a lot of things changed for me. I understand how busy we can be with life in the UK, work, shift, and all of that. But there's a part where you need to just say, enough is enough. I need to get this once and for all. Take your time, guys. Go through that NHS guide. With all these things that Chinonso just said about AI, how AI can help you, there's a step-by-step guide there. Even if it means that take a day to sit and read that, it's a long one, but at the end of the day, you will get something out of it. Take your time and read it. Read it like you're reading something. Don't be in a hurry, because sometimes when I see people in the community ask a question, I'll be like, this thing is just in that guide. You just need to pay attention. That's where attention to details coming in. Don't be in a hurry to apply. First of all, sit down with the guide and read it like you're reading a book. Couple with this prompt that I will show you, even in the guide, it's there to tell you what you should ask ChatGPT, what you can copy and tell ChatGPT according to what you're applying for. So please, guys, if you have the time, take your time. It's in the job groups. There, it is pinned. You will see it, original guide by Mobiola. You will see they just take your time and read it, and then you're good to go. I don't know if anybody has questions or Chino. So I know you're done, but maybe we should just take questions so that we'll put it there again. Maybe Chino. So what we can do is let's unpin everything that is on the group, on the job groups, and just only pin the NHS guide. Yeah, so that at least when people go, that's the only thing they see in the job group. I think that's what we should do, because we have other things pinned there. Maybe we should just unpin everything and then repin the NHS guide there again.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine, yeah. So okay. So does anyone have any other question? Augusta's hand is up.
Do we have questions, guys, so that we can release you people to go? And yeah, I'm even at work as we're having this stuff. Does anyone have question, anything to say, any concern? You are not quiet now, though.
Nobody wants it. Augustus Hanos.
No,
Okay, yeah,
I
you can.
I
Okay.
understand. I understand. He's even giving me more insights. I
Exactly.
understand. Thank you so much.
All
Ngabi.
right.
Okay, if I yeah, sure. Please unmute your mic.
Yeah, thank you so much for this platform. I know you guys are not getting paid to spend
All right.
your time
Thank
and
you.
have
You can hear me.
valuable time in this country. But I just have one question on the prompt. Although I'm trying to do it by myself, but when you mentioned the guide, if you check, I don't know, maybe, but on my WhatsApp, I can't find any guide.
That's what I'm saying. I said it that I'm going to after this call now, I'm going to go and repost it again on the jobs group.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
so
will.
much.
Yeah, I will. Is that all if I
Yeah. I
yeah, I'll
just wanted
repost
to
it.
thank
Yeah,
you
I'll
for.
repost it. Yeah, okay, sure. Ngabi, please unmute your mic.
Yeah, okay, all right, thank you. Do they check if the CV is generated using chat?
Mm. Um, do they check if the CV generated using ChatGPT? Honestly, I don't know if they do check it, but you don't want to turn you don't want to turn them off, right? You don't want to give them that hint that it's generated using ChatGPT. In fact, some platforms like maybe the civil service jobs, right? They'll tell you that we know you can use ChatGPT. We are not against it, but ensure that it is your own personal experience. So it's not like using ChatGPT is banned or is bad, but you use it wisely so that you can be able to, tell them that you've made the best use of it, not like lifting and dumping what ChatGPT gave you, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Chamaka, please unmute.
Thank you. My problem is in the editing part. To use the ChatGPT to create the supporting statement, I don't have a problem with that. I can do that on my own. But my wahala is the editing. How you now edit it to make it sound like, because there are some NHS jobs I've seen, they will tell you, they will boldly write it there that if you use AI to write it, that your application will be rejected. It will be boldly written there. So it's the editing now that is the cocoa.
Okay. God, this call is recorded and we are going to put this on YouTube. So I
Yeah.
don't know. There are things
uh,
I don't want to really
I
say,
think
but
that there are some apps so that they use to
yeah,
make
yeah,
it
there are
yeah.
some apps you can actually use to rephrase your words. We have paraphrase. Just check paraphrasing tools online. We have I forgot the name of that app, but there are
There
apps you
is
can use to
also Rewritify.
yeah, there are apps you can use to
Rewritify.ai.
there are apps you can use to paraphrase. But the truth is, um I don't know. Okay. The truth is, let me ask you a question, right? Personally for me, right, I don't really believe all of this, and they say that they are using AI to check, because we're using AI to check that something is AI generated. I
A
mean,
lot of people not
you
yeah,
need to
yeah.
find a concrete way to prove it. Like, that's what me I believe. But as I said, you don't need to lift it and paste it, because if, like, maybe I see something that's AI generated, most of the time I might know, just for like
Yeah,
the indications
Quillbot. I
I
wanted
gave
to say Quillbot too.
her
Yeah.
keyboard here. There's some indication that I gave you about those long dash, and maybe AI at times the words are very, very short. They write this, there are a lot of full stops and all of those things. And that's why even at times in my prompt I can just be like, this is sounding too professional. Can you add a human touch to it? It now pipes the tone low. So it just depends on how you want to, tweak your prompt and also do your manual editing. But honestly, all of these, if you use AI, would know. I don't think that works most of the times, anyways. But you have to still do your own work, basically.
Yeah, okay. I think someone's hands is raised to effect that so that we can close at exactly like in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. So I want to ask, can I use the chat GPT to check gaps in my CV as well?
To check gaps in your CV.
Yeah.
mm, I mean, if you give it, if you give the chronological dates, obviously it could tell you where the gaps are. But I believe if there are gaps in your CV, you should know where they are. Maybe at the point of where you stopped working to the point of when you got another job, or maybe before you moved to the UK. If you're in the UK, you didn't have a job for a while. All of those little gaps, right? You should probably know and know reasons behind all of those gaps and be able to state it clearly. I think that's the answer there. But I mean, if you want ChatGPT to identify the gaps for you, if you list all your dates, you can find all of the gaps for you. But I think it's best to identify them yourself and also put information to support those gaps.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Let's see. Is
Ade? Is it Ade?
Okay. Hello, good evening. Well done, sir, and well done, ma. Yes. Thank you for the training. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I have my book and paper here. Now, my first question is ATS CV. Please, I don't really know what it means. Can you explain? ATS. I
Sorry,
used
I
to
didn't get what you
see
said.
ATS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
that is the
application
first
tracking
one.
system. So
Yeah,
application
please
tracking
let me
system is
ask.
more like
I want
I think
to
she has
ask
more
those
than one question,
questions.
so she needs to ask all of
Yes,
them.
so that
okay.
yes, that's then. Secondly, for those outside the UK, what in terms of applying for jobs, what do you advise? That's number one, especially when you know that your profession is in demand. Like, I'm an early childhood educator, so I want to know what you advise for someone outside the UK applying for a job. Then further, I thought about maybe doing some courses, then applying outside. I don't know. So, but what are your thoughts on it? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so for the first one, for ATS, it's application tracking system. So it basically helps to filter applications, right? Because if you have if they put out an advertisement, you could have about hundreds and thousands of people applying, and you don't expect the hiring team to review those thousands of applications. So ATS kind of minimizes the application, right? Maybe decrease it from like 100 or 1,000 to like maybe about 50 that can now be manually reviewed, right? So that's basically what it does, and that is why it's important for you to always use keywords when making your applications, whether it's NHS or any applications you're making, right? It's important to use keywords, right, as much as you can. Just find a way to, if they talk about hosting meeting, put it like that. Use keywords as much as you can. If they talk about some tools, like maybe people that are in Kenya, they talk about hoist, right? I don't know what they call it, but they just put it in those things so that if it's scanned by the ATS, all of those keywords will be picked and your application can be highlighted for further review. Then with respect to what our advice for people applying outside the UK, at least I'm glad that you first understand that your profession is in high demand. So the next thing our advice is for you to see if maybe your profession, maybe within the UK, is there anybody governing your profession? Maybe you need to be a member of any association. Is there any exam you need to write? All of those things, any qualifications you need to get. So if you're able to identify all of those things and work towards it, right, it could make your application easier, right? Because you just said that your profession is something that is in high demand, and if you have those required, skills and qualifications, then you could keep applying, right? As long as maybe if you get a job and they are willing to sponsor you, I'm 100% sure that they would actually be willing to relocate you to the UK and give you that sponsorship. So that is my advice on that bit. Okay.
Okay. So there's one more person. I'm trying to make sure that at least we close by 10 so that everybody can. There's Shita. There's Antonio KK first. Hi, Anthony.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, hello. Okay, hi.
Yeah, can we make our question like
Okay,
very fast? Yeah.
Thank you for the section. Yeah, it was really very very enlightening. Okay, so just two questions here, just about the work experience. So I was going to ask, how many years experience do you need to include, and must you only include the relevant experience, the ones that are like, for instance, maybe you're applying for a healthcare assistant role, and maybe you have a banking experience. Do you still need to include that, or you just need to put it aside? And also the last thing, please, the recording, please. Are we still going to get the recording on the group chat as well? Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So let me start from your last question. Yeah, for the recording, we are going to process the recording, and it should be on YouTube, and we'll share the link with you guys. Then for the first question, I would say it's better you put your relevant. They might say you should put your relevant experience. That is just it's just that simple, right? Any experience that you have that is relevant to the role, okay. And with respect to how many years of experience you should put, I think as much as you want actually, but you should at least cover the last 3 years, because I know that they always talk about you need to have your at least last 3 years of reference and all of those things. But so you should cover at least the last 3 years, but as much relevant experience as you have. Because I mean, you're in the banking. If you're in the banking sector, I want to put banking for a healthcare role. It doesn't correlate. But for instance, if maybe you want to maybe do like project management within a bank, or in a bank, maybe you want to apply to like Lloyd's Bank, I want to do like project management there now. You can put that you've worked in a bank before. That is a relevant experience. So it just depends on the context. Just ensure that whatever you're putting there is relevant to the role.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Shita, please. I'm all about here.
Hi, good evening. So my question is that for those of us that, do you have any idea when they might increase minimum? Yes, they've increased, but do you have any idea when maybe NHS is going to implement? Because obviously everybody cannot get, and there are trusts that, like, I have a band 3 role with a trust that I mentioned it on the group the other day. I know they sponsor, but I purposely waited till 9th of April. I had the interview like 4 weeks before. They waited till to send me conditional offer letter, and they said, oh, we can't sponsor because of the new rule. So everybody cannot get jobs in London, like I said. Do you have any idea maybe if they're implementing, so we can go ahead and continue to apply for band 3 roles in other places and London, or we should just focus on London and maybe band 4 roles?
The thing is, I know that I've implemented the salary improvements, the minimum wage increase, and also their salary threshold thing that they did last year. And also, I mean, you're already within the NHS, which is an advantage, meaning that you can also apply to other NHS organization, and probably you might be considered for those roles.
I've not started the job.
Okay. So my advice is, I would advise you to start the job. I mean, at the moment, then probably sometime in the role, you cannot start applying for maybe higher positions, right? But if the organization say they cannot sponsor you at that moment, they probably would give you the reason. Maybe you didn't meet the salary requirement. Then it's now up to you to check to actually see if you meet the salary requirement. Because I think what I had is, for healthcare workers or something, you need to be in at least 25,000 or so.
Yeah, 25,000, but NHS starting salary is 24,000 something.
I think Joshua wants to say something. I think maybe he has a better.
Okay, yeah. So Joshua, you can.
Josh, are you on the call? I saw your hands up. Josh. Okay. Because I knew he had like a lot of ideas.
Sorry. So about the whole salary threshold thing is very tricky. The whole salary threshold thing is very tricky because the whole new rules about the 25K and everything that the government put out, and based on what I'm hearing, only applies to overseas applicants. And then it's tricky, because they say that okay, it's only if they're recruiting for overseas, so it doesn't apply to us. And like I said in the group that time, I feel like some trusts don't actually understand. Some trusts don't actually understand what the rule actually means. So they're actually trying to relate it to the applicants that are still here. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But about applying jobs, just try to apply jobs to as much places that you can. So London gives higher chances of sponsorship for NHS because their salary threshold will be much higher. But there's a sponsorship list on the gov.uk website, and then there's a sponsorship list on there's this tier2sponsor.com. I think I'll send a link to the group. So now, apart from the NHS, you can also find some trusts, some care agencies, depending on what you are doing, that can actually recruit and sponsor. So those are companies that have the license. So it's just for you to spread your wings and to have more options. So yes, you're applying for NHS jobs in London because their salary is higher, and they're more likely to meet the salary threshold when you apply from Band 3 and above. But then you can also look for places like Manchester. I know some people that are sponsored in Manchester. You can try to look at some other places, but just to increase your chances, you can also look at that sponsorship list.
A lot of people on that sponsorship list, they are there, but they or they are no longer sponsoring, or after 6 months is remaining 3 months. And imagine relocating from one place to another them to give I'm sorry.
Yes, that's true.
They can say, but they're always giving excuse.
Yeah, it's actually very tricky.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, don't worry.
Thank you.
Everything is going to be fine. So, guys, they say time fly when you're having fun. But first of all, can we just say thank you to Chinonso, at least for taking his time out of his busy schedule? You don't have to type. You could use the
Thank you.
button,
Thank you very much.